Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel, or welcome in if you're new. I'm Channie, and today I'm watching my first ever TierZoo video, and this is Are Crows OP? I don't know, are they? Let's find out. Also, I'm with my Twitch chat today. We're doing a live reaction on Twitch, so do join us next time on twitch.tv/Tanzonia. But let's get to it. Okay, here we go. Wait, what is that bird?
Stop looking at me! Attack! Save it for the enemy! We've lost control of the command post.
Wait, I'm confused. W edit, but I'm just confused. What was the other bird?
Primates
Why
are
did they
notorious
just
for their
move?
incredibly broken intelligence stat, which grants them access to incredible advanced
Oh my
techniques
god, wait,
such as
is he? No way, he's doing that? Resourceful. Bob the Builder right here.
tool use,
W's.
coordinated team strategies, and even bartering and trade. But primates are not the only faction in the game with a high intelligence stat. Cetacean, cephalopod, and bird mains also commonly opt not to spec
It's a
into powerful
Shubel.
damage dealing abilities, and instead
Shubel sounds
invest
very
into leveling
scary.
up their brain power skill tree. While this does seem like a risky choice, leaving the player more vulnerable in direct 1v1
Bink,
combat,
bonk.
in actuality, this often results in a much less risky playthrough.
Oh
as
my
the player's
god.
intelligence opens up more
What is
options
bro
for them to progress
doing?
that don't require winning in combat. This is especially true of the bird faction, as their ability to fly already allows them to quickly escape most unfavorable
Oh
combat
my god,
encounters.
didn't just feel
Today,
it.
we're going to discuss one of the two main intelligence-centered bird builds, the faction that contains crows, ravens, and magpies, the Corvid.
Okay, how can we tell the difference between
The
ravens
faction
and
that
crows?
contains crows, ravens, and
What's like, is it the beak? Is it the beak? Because this one looks more silver, right? This one is more darker and more round. This one feels straighter.
magpies, the Corvid. This video is going to focus mostly on crows as an example, but generally what I say in this video should apply to most Corvids.
Are Corvids
First,
OP?
let's discuss their stats, as well as the abilities and strategies that exemplify them. We'll begin with their stealth stat, which Corvids aren't particularly excellent in. The most popular Corvid skins are either jet black or piebald, neither of which grant the user that strong of a stealth bonus. In fact, in
Yeah,
snowy areas,
in snow,
jet
it's
black
GG's.
feathers are actually one of the least effective choices when trying to remain hidden. A dark appearance is most effective as camouflage at night, but crows and
Makes
other
sense.
Corvids are not nocturnal builds, so they aren't really gaining this benefit from it. Now, granted,
Damn, they
stealth
got nerfed
typically
in that
isn't all that
department.
important for birds, given how agile and vigilant they are. Plenty of other high-tier avian builds, like for example parrots, are arguably some of the least stealthy birds in the game, and they do just fine. You could even argue that Corvids are even less stealthy than their black feathers initially appear, as their iridescence actually makes them even
Ooh,
easier
pretty.
to see for certain other players, typically other birds. Ultimately, I think it's safe to say stealth is not an important part of their game plan. At least nowhere near as important as it is for ambush predator builds, like the owl. The main predators a crow needs to worry about are raptors, and because
Not this Souls game
builds,
UI.
like the owl. The main predator
I was literally just playing Elden Ring yesterday. I'm still traumatized by some of the bosses, but I digress. Just got flashbacks right here, but yeah.
a crow needs to worry about are raptors. And because of the raptor's keen eyesight ability, it's unlikely having a higher stealth stat would make
Bonk,
much of a difference
bonk.
anyway. The crow's defense and constitution stats
Kitty,
are fairly average for a bird, which is to say not great. Birds have hollow bones, and their feathers offer fairly little in terms of defense. Feathers do absorb some blunt force damage, but when it comes to slashing and piercing damage, it's nearly useless. And because of their hollow bones, which make them more vulnerable to blunt force damage, the benefit there kind of cancels out as well.
So the hollow bones, it's for every bird, right? So they generally get hurt in that case when they like hit or fly into windows and stuff or glass. That could pretty much lead them to always getting fractures, no?
Cats, raccoons, raptors, and dogs all have a high chance of taking a crow out in one hit, so they cannot let their guard down
The
when interacting
raccoon,
with any damage
no.
dealer builds. Given that their playstyle necessitates taking some risk, pro players definitely wish they had more room for error. Thankfully, their next stat makes it pretty easy to avoid damage. The crow's mobility is a little above average for a mid-sized bird,
Oh.
which is to say, excellent. Birds in general are just extremely agile, both on the ground
Oh
and
my
in the air,
god.
making them extremely hard
Okay,
to land an attack on
Matrix.
if they see you coming. Some bird builds, like geese and junglefowl, require significant startup in order to get airborne, meaning that they can't rely on their flight to
No,
escape
the
danger
poor
if the danger
thing.
is already right in front of them. Crows are
Oh,
not one of
no.
these bird builds.
Okay,
and in
why are
contrast,
they always bothering cats? What's that about? Is there a lore there? Like, why is it always the cats? Why are they always beefing with cats?
the startup on their flight move has some shockingly broken frame data, and allows them to quickly and easily reposition themselves in basically any direction in 3D space almost instantly.
That's really
This
cool
makes
though,
their
the
ability
movement.
to dodge attacks one of the best in the entire game, and makes what would normally be fairly dangerous positions,
Oh my
such
God.
as right next to a powerful predator, quite safe as long as the
So
Corvid
give
doesn't
me
use any
the
laggy
food,
moves.
it's mine.
This synergizes well with the Corvid's combat moveset, as we'll discuss in a moment. Corvids are blessed with many high stats, but power is not one of them. Their ability
They always like go for the back. That's what I'm noticing. It's always a tail, always a feather on the tail, always just the back.
to deal damage is one of the weakest in their weight class, as their only attack option is a simple pecking strike. This move has quick startup and very little end lag, but its damage is egregiously low. Simply attacking with this move will deal minimal damage to anything larger than an insect. Most players will be
Death
able
bird
to ignore
flashbacks, literally. Just using its beak like the death
Attacks
bird
damage.
from Elden Ring.
However, this doesn't mean a crow's attacks are useless. It just means they've got to
No!
be clever about how they use them.
Why you
A well-placed
beaking
peck
his
can provoke an
booty?
attack, and if you're able to move out of the way quick enough, the enraged player will end up being forced to lash out at whoever just happens to be nearby, and create an opening for the Corvid player to capture an objective, steal some loot, or escape trouble.
Did it just want
It
to
might
get in the
seem like a
water?
jank strategy, but really this is the bread and butter of Corvid gameplay, and can lead to massive swings in advantage. The chance
No,
to
leave the
afflict the
bird
enraged
alone. Did y'all see that? They were holding him hostage.
gameplay, and can lead to massive swings
It
in
couldn't get
advantage.
away.
The chance to afflict the enraged status effect scales with the user's intelligence stat. So the reason this strategy works so well is that the Corvid's intelligence stat is ridiculously high for a non-primate build. Corvids are
Is it instigating? Like, it's the crow biting the cat, but the cat is attacking the cat in front of it instead of turning back and telling the crow to like F off.
is that the Corvid's intelligence stat is ridiculously high for a non-primate build. Corvids are tied with parrots for the highest intelligence stat in the entire avian faction. And in addition to
Have y'all seen the clip of like they basically taught the crow will go out and find money on the ground and bring it back home to them? That was a really cool video. Very cool, very demure.
enabling the goading strike moveset, having high intelligence grants Corvids access to a lot of other powerful techniques too, including the ability to use tools.
Ooh!
Tool use is one of the
Speedy.
most notoriously powerful
No
abilities in the
way,
entire
it's
game.
driving?
And in crows, this is no less true. By using hook-shaped wooden sticks, crows can score kills on grubs that are normally safe from everything except for woodpecker attacks.
Oh
And
my
given
God,
how many
so
expensive
smart.
niche perks woodpeckers need to spec into in order to perform these sorts of drilling attacks, the ability to bypass all of that investment while still gaining the same rewards is a huge boon to the crows.
Wow.
But high intelligence has far more benefits than just allowing crows to copy the success of hyper-specialized builds. Arguably, the
No
most important
way.
benefit is team tactics.
Did y'all see? It put the big stone to increase the water level so they can get the thing they want. Dude. They're so
The
smart.
success of
What?
hyper-specialized builds. Arguably, the most important benefit is team tactics. This is what allows baboons to fight off lions, what allows ants to bring down
I'm so
tarantulas,
impressed and
what
shocked.
allows wolves to prey upon bison. When crows work together,
Why
they
did
can
it
capture
flip them like
territory
that?
and control points of interest that they'd otherwise be helpless to defend.
Oh,
They can even
they're
rescue each other from
teaming.
what would otherwise be guaranteed lethal attacks, using a tactic called mobbing.
Okay,
Mobbing is a
W
strategy
mobs.
most commonly seen in birds, consisting of bombarding a single target with a barrage of both physical and sonic attacks.
W
On their own,
mobs.
these would be easy to shrug off, but when you're getting pecked at and screeched at from all directions at once, it inflicts
No,
heavy
leave the
physical
owl
and psychic
alone.
damage.
It looks so
This is what
cornered.
allows social corvids, like magpies and crows, to successfully chase away predators several times their size. Ravens, on the other hand, tend not to really need the help, as they're large enough to handle most opponents one-on-one, but can still team up in order
He
to
got
lock down a
curb
good source of
stomped.
carry-on. Alternatively, they may even ally themselves with wolf players, leading them to a carcass
Oh.
and letting them do the work fighting off their competition.
Wait, okay, so they do mobs within their own, like, you know, group, but then they also team up with wolves. Like, how does that, like, negotiation and, like, teamwork even build? Like, how do they just go to a wolf and be like, yo, want to build a team? Like, how does this happen?
Before sharing in the rewards. Anyway, that's a basic overview of the Corvid build. Now let's talk about their matchups.
Holy
The
moly.
Corvid matchup chart is heavily dependent on how effective their goading strike and mobbing techniques are against a given target. Luckily, because of how high the Corvid's intelligence stat is, the list of targets goading strike works against is quite long. It is best against builds with lower intelligence stats. Things like vultures, things like reptiles, and things like rodents. What's more, this technique even works on one of the Corvid's 2 primary threats, feline builds. Deadly as cats are, they're often
That's why they're always beefing with cats. It's their ops, their truest ops.
2
Okay.
primary threats, feline builds. Deadly as cats are, they're often quite reactive and easily aggroed, so goading strike is the perfect tool to redirect their ferocity. This move is admittedly less effective against the Corvid's other main concern, raptors. However, thankfully the mobbing technique is quite effective against raptors.
Oh no, it's falling!
So for both of their main threats, the crow players have options. The only builds these techniques aren't that effective against are other high intelligence builds, such as monkeys and parrots.
Monkey!
Because of their extremely strong social bonding and top tier intelligence stats,
Hey,
parrots
yo,
are
we're
highly
interrupting
resistant to
something.
psychic damage and do not turn on each other easily.
You know why? Because they're just chill guys for real. They're unbothered. Look at them. They were just chilling in here.
And parrots. Because of their extremely strong
You
social
see?
bonding and top
Just
tier
3 chill guys
stats,
chilling.
parrots are highly resistant to psychic damage and do not turn on
2
each other
chill
easily.
guys in love.
In fact, when pestered by a corvid, they are likely to defend each other fiercely using their own, more powerful beaks and louder shrieks. One-on-one, they're fairly evenly matched, so it tends to just come down to size.
Oh.
But in groups, corvids tend to have difficulty forcing parrots away from an objective. As for monkeys, their higher HP allows them to more easily ignore the pecking attacks of a crow. And they're used to getting their tails tugged all the time by their own party members, so a crow doing it is unlikely to provoke a punishable response. Crows and parrots have an interesting dynamic. I've said in previous videos that I believe parrots to be the more viable build. They have higher dexterity with their beaks, their sonic shriek attack is
Oh wait,
incredibly
he's
effective.
scrolling! Wait, he's scrolling.
Build. They have higher dexterity with their beaks, their sonic shriek attack is
Whoa.
incredibly effective. They're more social
I want
and
a
arguably
parrot
more intelligent
again.
even. And yet, of the 2 most intelligent bird builds, there's no denying that in the city biome, corvids are much more successful. I think the reason for this is that even though parrots are indeed more powerful on their own, and are better at using most tools than crows are better at using the most important tool, other players. From provoking attacks and redirecting aggression, to using passing vehicles to deal damage for them and unlock high-value loot, corvids are the best of the best when it comes to using other build strengths to cover for their own shortcomings. And if the human build's dominance is any indication, co-opting the strengths of less intelligent builds is one of the strongest strategies you can possibly execute in the game. And it's for this reason that corvids sit proudly in S tier.
S tier.
Speaking of builds with a high success rate
Interesting.
within the city biome, another creature that thrives in cities is the centipede. With their quick, twitchy movement and flat shape, they have no trouble weaving through all of the nooks
Oh
and
my god,
crannies common
that's
in
so scary.
urban environments.
That's really creepy.
This
I
is
don't.
the subject of my next video,
No,
which will be
too
out on
many
YouTube
insects.
in a month
Stop
or
it.
so. However,
many
if you'd like to
bugs.
watch that video
Stop it.
right now, you can access it a month in advance on Nebula, the sponsor of
Okay.
today's video.
How long is this sponsor? Okay, we're back. I think here.
Insects?
Okay, I
Well,
don't
you'll
know
just
when
have
this
to check it
ends.
out to
It's
see.
my first video,
I
so
doubt many
don't
of you
know.
know this exists. Is Archaeology Quest. The
Okay,
show,
there's
if
okay.
this all
How
seems the
long
link,
is this?
If you choose the watching, thanks again.
Okay, that ended. Wait, what was the ending even? It finished off with the centipedes? Question mark. Cool. Didn't expect that ending. We took a turn, but that was our Crows OP by TierZoo. Honestly, good video. I like their editing style and like they make it seem like a battle slash a Souls game slash any game, and then they give you the stats, and then they give you a final rating at the end. Very good layout, very good structure. Easy to follow too. And I learned a lot about crows today. I mean, I just thought they're smart and just chilling. Didn't know their biggest ops is cats. Was it vultures? Another big bird and monkeys or other smarter animals. Those are their biggest ops. good to know. Yeah, they seem to use a lot of their brain and actual strategies in their life. Like they have the mobs, they team up with other animals, and they just, you know, they just be doing their thing. Good for them. Good for them. A very good video. If you enjoyed this, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!